Hey team, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with Death Taxes. This is the deck we took to the second Eternal Weekend last weekend. This is just John's list. I don't think there's any reason to change it. But it was really fun. Speaking of, hey John, welcome. Yeah, it was really fun. I really liked Death Taxes. It was my first deck, of course. And to play the Yorion version with Sagas as well was really cool. I think there's a lot of learning around when to play Saga, because obviously for this deck I find it's pretty important to just make your land drops. So, you know, playing it on turn 2 as opposed to turn 3, there can be some pretty massive adjustments to how it goes. Hey Ben, welcome. Hey Sleepy, thanks for the follow. Hope you're doing well. But not too much to talk about. I think that, yeah, if you want to see this deck in action, definitely check out John. He wrote a really good article on MinMax blog there, which yeah, goes through the deck, matchups, why you should play it for Eternal Weekend, which obviously only being last weekend is still pretty yeah, pretty on point, which is nice. So let's just get into some games, play some Magic, and see how this goes. Oof. Really nice to have these oh, there's a prelim in 2 hours. That's pretty cool. Nice. We don't have play points, so let's quickly get some play points. We want to do quantity by 1. Nice. Oh, 5 away? Okay, well I should at least get 5 in this one chest. Nice, there we go. We got our play points. Playing D&T. Cool, cool, cool. We're streaming. Nice. There we go. Yeah, Eternal Weekend. Eternal Weekend was really fun. Really wish I actually got to play one of the vintage events, but just didn't have time. Didn't have the reps either, so it's always tough going into a format with little to no knowledge, because that can really impede how much fun you would have in said format, especially for a competitive event like the vintage Eternal Weekend events. What would I play in vintage? I'd probably go with Bug. I really like the look of sort of the Bug mid-range decks. But I also don't mind the look of some of the Bant decks that Justin was playing around with Archon of Amoria, I believe it was called. That deck looks pretty sweet. And, you know, Noble Hierarch in all formats is kind of my jam, so. This is a pretty good hand. It's a little bit tough with the Saga being, as I said before, a land that I'm going to lose in a few turns, but I think we have a pretty good setup here. Have something for combo, have some removal, have a turn 1 Vial, which is pretty great, and then, you know, Flicker Wisp and Vial is really good. And then we have our Thread and Stoneforge Mystic, so I think the only thing I would change in this hand, if anything, would just be changing the Saga for Plains, and that's pretty perfect, so pretty happy to keep. Not too sure what Drake is on. Once makes me think this is going to be Elves, more than like a Depths deck, but we'll see how this goes. Yeah, good D&T hand is really satisfying. I think that D&T is one of the decks where you could have a really good discussion about so many opening hands. And what you would keep them against, what you would mulligan them against. Cloudpost. Yikes, okay. Hey, Red the Reckless, welcome. Okay. So this is actually an interesting one. Because we did see our opponent find a Cloudpost off the Elvish Reclaimer. So there is a thought that my opponent next turn just plays Cloudpost and maybe something like a map with the forest. Or they could play an untapped land from hand and then play the Cloudpost the following turn. But I would really love them to just play the Cloudpost tapped and then maybe something else so that we could play the Vial this turn and then Swords the Elvish Reclaimer next turn without them getting the ability to activate it. But I feel like that might just be a little bit too slow. Spirit doesn't really have any game in this matchup. Flicker Wisp has some. Stoneforge getting Kaldra is probably our best way to win this. So it could just be a game where Vial isn't something until I play turn 3. So turn 1, Swords on Reclaimer. Turn 2, Stoneforge Mystic, get Kaldra. Turn 3, hopefully draw a land within the first 2 draws. And then play the Vial and then hold up Kaldra. So I think that's going to be the play. Prelate. Okay. Yeah, I think we are taxed into Swords. Nice. Hey, Vegeta. Always nice to see you in chat. Pre-late an interesting one. Crop rotation on one. A few other small things. Needle. Okay. Needle probably naming Vial in the blind. Oh, actually, no, Wasteland, of course. I don't think they really care about Vial, especially after turn 1. Okay. Well, that's nice because we can still, you know, down the line wisp out the Needle and then start Wastelanding. So I might as well show the Wasteland here. I don't want to play the Saga just yet because I don't want to lose it in 3 turns. I'd rather give that extra turn for me. So just going to go with Stoneforge into Caldra. Really get some pressure going. Always going to make sure with MTGO as well, we click on the Caldra Complete. But yeah, this matchup can be pretty tough. The main deck Needles are a really nice way for them to get, you know, some amount of traction. Second Cloudpost. Map. 2 mana. Just going to hold up the map. Thalia. Pretty irrelevant here. I think we're just doing what we said last time, so just Vial into Caldra. So end step they get another Cloudpost, untap. They play Cloudpost, they have 3, 6, 7 mana. Which is getting pretty close to you know, Eldrazi territory. Chances are going to be tough, especially with the Needle on the map. But if I draw a white source next turn, I can flicker out the Needle and then Wasteland one of their Cloudposts, which isn't too bad. They're going to crack the map now. Okay, probably just trying to save some time. They get Cloudpost, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so really want to find a plains pretty quickly. Or I wouldn't mind a second Caracas. Obviously, I'd rather have the plains because it actually sticks around, but any white source would be pretty nice. Wow, just a pass. Okay. I don't think there's anything here I have to play around, perhaps. Stoneforge, rough. Maybe they want to like end step crop into another Cloudpost. They could have like holding up once, but surely with 4 cards in hand they have some sort of gas. This is fine. I think he would just attack for 6 and then hold up Activate Saga or Caracas. Caracas isn't great because like bouncing a Kozilek is not what I want to be doing, or an Ulamog. Hey Mining Man, welcome. And obviously with only 3 mana I can't like Stoneforge or something else put it in. So we'll just attack first. Probably to say pass. I think getting this this token will be pretty good. It'll be a 3/3 into a 4/4. So we do nearly have lethal next turn. It's going to be crop. Potentially Eye? And then search? Yav. Interesting. Okay. Maybe they're Primeval Titan. Ooh, Glimmerpost always changes the math. Haha, tough. That's pretty good. Probably getting like the last Cloudpost and Eye. Glimmerpost and Eye, just to really get above range. Just a little 10 mana left over. Hey Vic, welcome. Hope you're well. Maybe Green Suns? Green Suns for Rexage, take out the Saga? X equals 5. Rexage, yeah. Well, not looking great, but... Hey John, thanks for the host. Too kind. This resolves. Alright. File goes up. Swords? Yeah, it's going to be a real tough one here. Thanks, John. Too kind. Hope you're doing well. I think the best plan here is probably just hold up Batterskull. So Batterskull in off the Stoneforge Mystic and then put it in. But I think with the Eye and so much mana that it's going to go for Emrakul, unfortunately. I think this is just, yeah, a little bit unachievable. There was a world perhaps where we could slow them down with you know, the second white source for Flicker Wisp and then Wasteland one of their lands, but I think unfortunately we're just a bit too slow. And you know, Cloudpost, once they're online, it's pretty hard to slow them down. There's probably even a world there where I shouldn't have attacked with the Kaldra and should have just left it back for the Primeval Titan so that attacking wasn't the greatest, but I'm going to assume here we just see an Ulamog. Because it costs, yeah, 2 less. Okay. This is going to be an interesting one. I like the Judgment. And maybe the Needle. That's probably it. Needle on Eye isn't the worst thing. Probably looking to take out just like some spirits. I could see... I guess Cage does hit Green Sun Zenith, which isn't too bad. Peacekeeper's interesting as well. I think we have sort of 4 slots here. I think the spirits can come out. The only reason that I like Spirit is it is just 3 attack each turn for 2 mana, so it's an early aggressive creature. And Prelate isn't the greatest either. So maybe there is a world where I can switch the Prelate and the Peacekeeper. Could just keep the 1 spirit. I don't think I want to be the cheese with Surgical on like Cloudpost. But maybe that's just the matchup. Maybe it's that poor that, you know, maybe that plan is better than just going for Thalia. Priest is also a consideration. But I definitely don't want to be hitting my chances of having like an early Vial. I think the Priest is better than the last Spirit. I think I'll see how we go with this. But I could potentially see where maybe the matchup is just in that position where Surgical is worth it. Definitely not keeping a no white mana hand. Well, this is white mana with a Wasteland, which isn't the worst. Peacekeeper can buy some time. I can only assume their outs to Peacekeeper are things like Dismember, perhaps. I mean, I'm making my land drops here, so I'm pretty happy to keep this bottom of Plains and then have three mana for all my spells and also the Wasteland to interact with, so... One thing I do have to be cautious of is crop rotation in response to Wasteland, so... If my opponent goes like Plains or like Forest Pass and then... like Cloudpost Pass... Do want to be weary of Cloudpost. Glimmer Post. Sure. Must be playing like a map or a needle then. Alright, you got me. Okay. Don't want to show the Wasteland just yet. If we play Wasteland and then we draw onto Port, I can then Port with a white up. No, I think it's best just to play Mum and Pass. Mum and a Peacekeeper. I guess Peacekeeper's coming down a little bit later. Map, okay. Because I don't want to be paying the upkeep cost next turn. And I don't want to waste this right now. Just don't want to see a forest. Okay. Well, it's not too bad. Saga. So at least we now have a bit of a clock. But this is that kind of awkward position where we have the Peacekeeper. I don't really want to play it just yet. But we do have the Saga to start getting online, which is nice. Jerry. Too kind, Jerry. Hope you're doing well. I have my coffee in hand. I hope you do as well. Three, 6, 7 mana. Krakus isn't too bad right now. Not what I want to be seeing. Ah, it is Knight of there. Of course, of course. I think we just hold up Containment Priest here, and then we get the Saga next turn, which is nice. Could potentially be close to lethal here as well. So Saga is a 1/1, with another one as a 2/2. It's a 3/3 with... yeah, I think we nearly had it there. Let's just quickly do the math. Because we had 4, 5, 6, and then we have... a 1/1, a 2/2, a 3/3, a 4/4 with Shadow Spear on the construct, which would have the other construct as well, which is pretty cool. I mean, that was a really slow start from us, and that was just the one Wasteland that kind of kept us there. I could potentially see my opponent perhaps having just green cards in hand and not having the green source, but... Oh, did they drop? Did they just drop? Okay. Look, we'll take it. That's excellent execution. Thank you, John. Too kind. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Hey, thanks, Mining Man. Too kind to the new subs. Jerry and Mighty Man, I very much appreciate you. There's actually a hype train now, which is very cool. So a huge thank you. 2-2. Pretty cold here in Brisbane. It's been raining all week. It's raining for the rest of the week. So pretty good streaming time. Actually moving out of this place this weekend. So we'll have a new setup. Hopefully up and running by next Sunday. Which would be pretty cool. Looking forward to it. Always nice to change space. But, yeah, thanks to you guys for coming in. Watching. D&T is always a pretty fun one for chat as well, because there's a lot of lines. Oof. But yeah, Cloudpost does seem tough. I think some people would see it and go, hey, we have Wasteland, like we have Skyclave Apparition. There are definitely things we can do to interact with them, but those needles hurt a lot. Obviously, a blowout of like crop rotation in response to your Wasteland can be pretty bad. It's probably a matchup where I think that Port is a little bit unrecognized as a really big part of how to slow them down. Especially when your Port on one land isn't just taking them off one mana, in some cases multiple amounts with Cloudpost. So yeah, Port's really nice. I think like turn 1 Vial, turn 2 Port, really nice for Cloudpost, and probably the start that I want to have so that I can start deploying Disruption through the Vials and still using my mana to really disrupt theirs. That's where I want to be. That's where those spirits are okay, because, you know, 3 power every turn adds up. Look at Delver. Not saying Spirit Labyrinth is on par with Delver, but yeah, I think having that early aggressive start can really help, because if Cloudpost can win the early game, then they're just going to win the late game, especially with things like Iovugan and the big Eldrazi they have. Alright, Trotter. Let's see what you got. I don't mind this. Pretty much a 6 with the Batterskull, but turn my mum, turn 2 Thalia, turn 3 Recruiter for something is pretty good. And we also have a lot of lands that actually do something, which is nice, so... Just don't Ragavan me. We do have the Karakas for Ragavan, but... Oh, Savannah? My man! Haha! Nice. Alright, against the Savannah deck, I'm probably happy to play the Plains here over the Karakas, because this is currently our only second white source, and I don't want to open myself up to Wasteland. Only time I'd play the Karakas there is probably if I had a second Karakas. No swords is big. Hey, Carador, a huge thank you for the sub. Very nice. Oh, Green-White Depths? Okay. Nice. This could just be a knight. Yeah, okay. You got yourself a knight. A second mum. Okay. Probably pretty happy just to use most of my mana here and play the Thalia out. Off the Port. And keep the Karakas for the actual 2020. Yeah, and then I probably like Recruiter next turn for Solitude, which we then have the Mum for as well. Yeah, Green-White Depth's a really nice deck. I feel like there's a primer somewhere. I feel like there's a primer on this Green Sun site. It's okay. I think it is just Port into Thalia here. Although there is a world where Thalia is the card that I actually want to drop off to the... Solitude, because Thalia doesn't have too much say in this matchup, especially when my opponent's got a 3-3 anyway. I'd probably rather get to a position where double Mum just kind of holds the board up for a bit. So then potentially I want to play the Saga this turn, just to start getting that going. Hey Runcore, welcome. You mean the Bible? I do really want to spend the next few weeks really going through the Green Suns and just updating it, because it is a little bit old. Yeah, I'm going to go with second Mum here. I'm going to keep the Thalia for the Recruiter into Solitude. So I am going to play Saga here, because I kind of want to get the Knight tapped. So they can't go for a Sajiri Step in response to Solitude. Hey, thanks Runcore. Really nice to have you in chat. Yeah, some really cool green white variants at Eternal Weekend. I know Dreadnought Jono has been on sort of a red splash for blast effects in the sideboard, which is pretty sweet. Oh, Safekeeper is so good. Safekeeper's a big yikes. And they're just going to go for it now. Okay. Especially with the flagstones as well with Safekeeper. Just really, really nice. They also have the Knight for Sajiri steps, so like Flickerwith does nothing. It's really like Solitude my own creature, but then I've got to tap out anyway. That's rough. Spirit does nothing. Let's just have a quick look. I believe Solitude is you can target anything. Yeah, one other target creature gain life. Hey Kai, welcome. What's up for breakfast today? 2 coffees. 2 coffees and a croissant. But usually something a little bit better. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. I think here we just kind of have to go for Recruiter Solitude, unfortunately. I just hope they don't attack with an extra creature. I guess they can't because of the double mums, but let's have a quick look. Little Geese, I think it is just Solitude. Nothing else really keeps us in this game. I think, yeah, potentially, we could get there with Saga into Retrofitter Foundry. Hey, Alec, a huge thank you. Too kind. Too kind. I hope you're doing well. Really nice to see you. Alright, we got a 1. I think the trophy race that Aspiring Spike is doing is exactly what Magic is all about. I don't think there's a better way to put it. It's tough because another creature also just does it. Because then they can just attack with everything. We only have 1, 2, 3 blockers. So Foundry is a little bit too slow, unfortunately. They're going to crop now. Okay. I think our only out... they have Wasteland. Okay. I was going to say we could draw into Skyclave Apparition. But then we need a second white source anyway. Tough spot. Tough spot for sure. Yeah. Tough one. Alright. What do we like? I do like the Needle and the Relic. I do like the Judgment. I don't think it's necessary to have Surgical. I don't think it's necessary to have the Cage, but they're definitely maybes. Same with Peacekeeper, potentially. I definitely don't like Rest in Peace. I don't think it does enough. I think that Reclaimer and Knight are still good enough. It only really shuts off Ramanap Excavator if they're playing that. I definitely like these 3. I think the Thalias I can definitely take out. Nothing worse than like an opposing Karakas. Spirits are still interesting because I think they're good enough against library and also just being an attacking creature. So I think that's a pretty easy split. But always interesting. Cage stops some little things like Dried Arbor as well. Never piloted an 80 card deck, but does sideboard feel less impactful because it is being more diluted? It's nice that this sort of 80 card version is a lot of playsets, so there isn't a massive drop in consistency. I do think that if you feel like there's like a lot of fast combo in your metagame, then perhaps you could go back to 60 because you want to have, you know, those big bullet cards like Mindbreak Trap or Surgical in your opening hand. But against a deck like Green White, I definitely don't mind having the extra 20 cards, which sounds pretty funny. But yeah, I really like it. I think there was like, I was definitely someone who was like, why would you play 80? Like, you want Vial in your hand, you want to have the best chance of that, so you want just 60. But the deck just plays a little bit differently, that, you know, turn 1 Vial isn't the be-all end-all, which is kind of nice. Takes a lot of pressure off some of the mulligans as well, which is pretty cool. I'm going to bring in the Cage. I'm going to bring in the Cage for a Spirit. I think 3 Spirits is fine. Would love to play first. Would love to show Yorion. Hey, Autonomy. Welcome. Hey, Elix. Yeah, Timeless Dragon's just a really interesting card. You do want to hit your land drops, so the plane cycling is really strong. The ability is also an activated ability, I believe, so it can't be countered, which is pretty nice. And having like a 4/4 is just pretty strong against a lot of the Bolt decks, which is pretty sweet. And a Flyer, which is pretty good against the blue-red decks, if you do get to the stage to get Timeless Dragon on board. But, yeah, there's Lewin. With I think this is okay. I think there's a world where we go like turn 1 Mum, and then turn 2 Wasteland Needle, name Waste? No. I guess Needle on a Thespian stage is pretty good. I'm going to see how this goes. It's a little bit rough with the mana, but I think we have enough cheap things to do that I'm pretty happy with this. Obviously, just throwing a Karakas onto the board is a little bit rough, but if we can get rid of an Elvish Reclaimer, I'd be pretty happy. Especially like Savannah into Elvish Reclaimer. Swords. Okay. There's Timeless Dragon, which is actually quite nice. It gives us our second white source. So I'm actually going to go with Saga here. Saga hold up Timeless Dragon. Could potentially play Wasteland as well, but I kind of want this. I think getting the Saga online here is fine. Getting that early pressure of the constructs as well is quite nice. Really nice start for my opponent. Just like this Wasteland is pretty much just here now for the combo itself. Hitting a Flagstones isn't great, and I can't interact with the forest. That's going to be fine. So they held up the Flagstones. I think here we just want to Plane Cycle, get a Plains, untap, Flicker Wisp our Karakas, and then just Swords the Reclaimer in end step. Because once this Reclaimer's online, it's a little bit harder to Swords. Well, Solitude's pretty nice as well, but now it's actually pretty interesting because I could Solitude the Elvish Reclaimer and just rely on the constructs. Probably Solitude, taking out the Flicker Wisp, and then holding up the swords for some other creature, like a Knight of the Reliquary. There's also potential for Needle on Reclaimer, but I can't do that on my end step when the land comes back from Flicker Wisp. I kind of like the construct plan as well. The slight issue is if my opponent has Wasteland next turn and takes out the Saga, I'll just have a 1/1 construct or a 2/2 construct with the Pithing Needle, which isn't the greatest of feats. If we were going to Solitude, you probably wanted to play Wasteland so you can play Plains next turn and play Powerful Upper Threat. Yeah, that's very true. That's a good point. We have a lot of time, so pretty happy to talk this one through. I actually just don't mind Flickwisp here because it is going to be a larger threat down the line anyway. It's also just a flyer, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I'm going to go with the gut. I might as well just hit the play. It doesn't actually matter because I don't have to play around Wasteland, which is nice. This also means we just have Solitude as a backup. It's just nice to kind of clear the board and not 2-for-1 myself too early on. What am I going to get with Saga? I think I'll get Retrofitter Foundry because I believe those colorless creatures are pretty hard to get through. White, green. Crop. Okay. Potentially he's getting a Wasteland here, so I can't get access to Saga, which isn't too bad. But if they get a Wasteland here, I could take them off white potentially. I feel like I want to play the Needle on Thespian stage. I don't want to play the Peacekeeper just yet. I'm not really in a position to put the Timeless Dragon into play. I need 4 mana. And I also don't want to put Yorion into my hand just now. Because next turn if they untap, they could have something like Crop. Like one piece of the combo and Crop. Which isn't the worst either because we have the Caracas. I actually think that, yeah, Yorion here isn't too bad. Five cards for my opponent. Definitely attacking first. And then I probably don't mind like Recruiter for Wisp, Solitude the Reclaimer, taking out the Peacekeeper. I could also just Recruiter for another Recruiter, so if they have like a Swords to Plowshares, they can't take me off the Recruiter lines too easily. I guess they can Swords in response. Solitude first in case of Crop. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that's probably the correct play. They've used one Crop. Okay. At least that clears the board up. But yeah, should have probably given a little bit more respect to crop rotation there. Tab. Ugh. Let's be honest, I'm probably just paying for this here. What's the role of the recruiter if I don't have the mana to actually flicker it? I know the Solitude would have been pretty reasonable as well. I just didn't want to start... I guess it comes off as a 1-for-1 because we're a recruiter for it, but I didn't want to go that line. Interesting spot here as well. I do want to wasteland the Tabernacle in their upkeep after they pay for it. No, I don't, because then they can actually sack it to the Reclaimer. So I do want to wasteland in my turn. Pay for Needle, and then... Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Yeah, okay. I think we potentially pay like this, so if we draw Swords to Plowshares, we can keep Needle for stage. Stoneforge. Will they double fetch? Oh, they won't. I'm not going to name Windswept Heath because they still can just sack them to Reclaimer, so I am just going to go with Elvish Reclaimer here. Hey, Sato-san, welcome. Hope you're well. Can they react to Needle Windswept Heath after it hits play? No. Mainly because the wording on Pith Needle is as Pith Needle enters the battlefield, not when. Knight Ramanap. Yikes. Now I probably just like paying for the Flicker Wisp. Unfortunately. Pretty happy just to hold up Wasteland here. I could do it now to play around the Reclaimer, but we have the Needle. So I don't have to worry about that, so I might as well just do it in their turn. Yeah, and if I wasteland during my turn, then they can just replay if they want the land that I hit. Most likely Tabernacle. But I think the play here is just to wasteland the Tabernacle, untap Swords the Ramanap. And then based on most lists, they shouldn't have a way to get back the Tabernacle. I guess they could just have like a crop, but still, not the worst. Tabernacle's just a really annoying card. They kept the Recruiter open, which is interesting. That makes me think they have some sort of removal for the Needle, but I could only assume it's Force of Vigor. I guess if I did think about Force of Vigor, I should have waited. It's always hard because they could like force, use Reclaimer, save with Step, but we're in a position where we just can't do that. Prismatic Ending. Nice. Can they get there in time? What do we need? Like a planes? No planes. This is tough because now they have like a go and get stage here, comes in tapped and then untapped, and then they just have Dark Depths open. Maybe there was a world where I didn't need to Swords the Ramanap and just allow them to have the Tabernacle. Maybe that was the line, because they did gain 2 life off that, which gave them an extra turn. Tough. So now they also have Sajiri step open. But at least we could just draw Caracas here. We do have 2 left in the deck. Tough. Tough one. But at least we definitely learned something. Maybe getting the extra Solitude there was better. Or a Skyclave. A Sheen. Too kind, Paul. Hope you're doing well. Hope MTG Mate is having a nice day. Very cool to be there yesterday. Help with some cards. For those of you watching from Brisbane, MTG Mate is having a weekend buy, sell, trade day out towards Ipswich at a place that used to be a Laser Force, which is pretty sweet. I believe the name of the place, Paul can tell me in chat. But we will get it. We will get it. We will get it. Ah, we're joined. Drewski. Nice. Epic Games. Thank you. There we go. Why not? I actually don't mind this hand. Obviously a little bit tough against combo, but hitting our land drops is really nice. Having some sort of interaction with Swords to Plowshares. Trop? I did see Infect in Eternal Weekend, so that's always interesting. I actually don't mind just Wasteland here and then Wasteland and Upkeep. Brainstorm's okay. At least it's kind of forcing the Brainstorm as well, which is nice. Mox. Underground Sea. Okay. Interesting. Tundra. Strix. Okay. This is all fine. Another Mox. Wasteland. Okay. Foundry. That's pretty nice. Foundry is going to be pretty good at getting some value happening here, which is nice. Wasteland's fine. Mum. Okay. I don't mind just holding up Foundry here. And then next turn, perhaps playing Mum and then playing Stoneforge Mystic in the same turn. Saga. Sure. No attacks. Interesting. Wasteland for Saga. Caracas. Useless. Caldra. Could be holding up Hardcast Force. I don't want to attack with the Servo either. I'd rather try to get some value off it the following turn. Because we can hold up 1/1. Ending. Sure. 0 cards in hand, but a Saga coming down. Can we get that Wasteland? Can we get that Wasteland? No. At least we're hitting land drops, which is nice. I think they probably... They either get their own Retrofitter Foundry or they get Needle and name Retrofitter Foundry. So I think here it's just going to be Thalia and hold up Retrofitter. And then we have swords for one of their Saga tokens. Batterskull's nice, but there is a world where their tokens are just bigger than the 4/4 Germ because of Moxes and Baleful Strix. We do have one sword. But I do like that Kaldra just really gets through everything, especially having First Strike and Trample. And it really puts pressure on them to have the swords. Yeah, we're just passing here. But yeah, SSJ is a good one. Good question. Now we do want to respond to the Saga as well in case they go and get Needle. I could make another 1/1 here. Or Sack and get a 1/1 flyer. And I like actually making the flyer because it puts a little bit more pressure on them getting an answer for Retrofitter Foundry here. Which I'm not too unhappy about. And then we can just 6 here. They get their own Retrofitter. Okay. That's fair. We do have some nice outs to that. Caracas as the draw is brutal. They're going to crack us now, which is interesting. I would have attacked first so that we can't swords now. And I should have swords in response so they don't gain the extra life, but we are all human. Flicker Wisp. Okay, that takes out the big token, which is kind of nice. I think it's just Flicker Wisp and Shadow Spear this turn. And then I don't want to play the Caracas just yet because of the Wasteland. Like if we draw a Batterskull next turn, I kind of want to play it. I don't want to attack just yet either. But this is going to be a really grindy game if these Retrofitters just keep going strong. Library's pretty good at 25 life. pretty happy not to attack with a Flick Wisp. I don't want to lose it to the Strix. And at least trample here means that they can't just like block with a servo and then send it away. Might as well just hold up Retrofitter Foundry here. And not equip. Savannah. Loam would be pretty good. Don't say it. Don't say it and it happens. Alright. Get back Saga. Okay. File's not the worst. Can put on Wisp makes it a pretty nice flying aggressive creature. Which can't just be like one blocked. Like this is fine. Because we still have trample, so still deals damage. Nice. And then I need one left over, which is fine. Interesting. I feel like they nearly had 5 mana there, so they could like create something untap. But or untap create. This Flicker Wisp is a 3-tone clock, which is really nice. Well, now it's a 2-tone clock. Uro. Yikes. Well, now it's not a 2-tone clock. Okay, well, interestingly enough, they don't have the mana to replay it, which is nice. Unless they haven't played a land for turn. Hey, Gav. Hope you're doing well. No great point in attacking here, because we get to block and then sack. We don't have like a main deck way to deal with the graveyard, unfortunately. But that's okay. Plains. Alright. That's actually not the worst, because it means next time we can play Kaldra. We also have 6 mana, which is nice. I think unfortunately for my opponent, eating up the clock here is actually pretty nice for me. And Kaldra coming down next turn is pretty good. Yeah, I feel like maybe time is getting to them a little bit. I will sack this now. And then 3 mana to untap. And then 2 mana to create. And then just take it. And I assume Uro is coming down this turn. Grind is real. We also have Yorion. I have to not forget about Yorion. So we'll put that up here. Strix is fine. These are cool games. I do like the grind, so it's exactly where I want to be in terms of Magic. Especially for Legacy. I think a lot of people underestimate how long some of the games can go for. Alright, files going up, which is nice. Ooh, Skyclave. Well, that's pretty interesting as well. But I think I'd rather go for Kaldra this turn. I could also Skyclave and then put Yorion into my hand. But I can't Skyclave the Uro. I could Skyclave the Sylvan Library or the Retrofitter Foundry. Huh. I think Kaldra is just better here, but... tough one. This is where things get a little bit more mixed. I think the play right now is just taking out the Sylvan Library, because they can really get some value off it with this Uro. And then putting Yorion into my hand, and then the following turn we have Kaldra. I kind of want to get some value off this Karakas. Instead of just playing Kaldra, attacking, they wasteland it. I don't really get to use it that much. Leave old Jace in the bin. Interesting. There's a world where I could have like played Karakas, Uro them, and then attack, but still not great. I'm just going to use Thalia here, put in Thalia here as well to play around like Pithing Needle on Vial, and just save some time as well. I just want a 6 here. They probably get Shadow Spear if they have it. Shadow Spear is pretty brutal here. Another Mox. Okay, that's okay. I think you had us like construct in front of construct and servo in front of here. Construct on construct, servo here, take 6. They must have drawn that off the Uro, or else they would have played it to get the extra attack in. Pretty happy to put this to 3, especially if we draw like Recruiter. Wasteland. Okay. A little bit useless now with the loam, but... I think I need to Skyclave away a non-token permanent. Rough. Give them a 2/2, but take the Uro. Kaldra's also quite nice. It could just be Kaldra. Wasteland Kaldra. Tough one for sure. I think it's just Kaldra on defense, unfortunately. I'm going to play the Wasteland, hold the Caracas. Play a bit of time. Yorion on token from Foundry is also pretty nice. Yeah, pretty big board state, John. Definitely put a Kaldra in front of a construct. I think we take the Uro hit. And take 15. And then Yorion next turn. I also get to attack with the Germ. Because I'm casting Yorion here, I probably just want to put this to keep this on 3. Just in case we draw a 3-drop. Which is pretty high. Okay. Six, 7, 8. So we can Recruiter into something and then Yorion as well. Maybe it's just Recruiter into Wisp, take out the construct. And then Wisp again. 6, 7, 8, yeah. I guess we can also get Solitude, which is pretty nice. So I think it is Recruiter for Wisp. Could Recruiter for Recruiter. Recruiter for Wisp. Play Wisps. So I can attack with the Germ here. I don't want to die, so I'm just going to take out the... Oh, they get so many though. There's actually a world where they can get me here by wastelanding the wasteland in my attack phase. Maybe I should have used the wasteland there for the Flicker Wisp so that I just had planes up and then could just play Caracas, play Yorion. Because now we kind of get got if they wasteland here. This does have trample. Yeah, this is fine. One, two, three, four. That's probably it. This doesn't matter because it was just a token. Nice. Probably happy just to take out the Retrofitter Foundry here. Because Uro isn't the biggest issue. Then Recruiter and then Wisp. It is end step. So maybe just Wisp on Uro here is fine. Just to buy some time. And then go and get a Solitude, just in case. They might even just Caracas the Uro here, but seeing we're playing a kind of time game here, I don't really mind that. It's a really hard turn, and I'm sure I could look back on that turn and give it some time and really look at what we could have done, but I think Solitude here is fine. But these sagas are going to get out of hand. Probably just want to hit a construct now with the Solitude. Guess we might as well wait. They get to gain a bunch of life, but this game isn't one that I'm gonna win through life. I probably actually, in case they do have like a equipment left in the deck that we are playing, called We Know It. We Know It. Shadow Spear, I should hold the Solitude. Green, white, loam, cool. Cool. do we want to attack? Just those two? I could just hardcast Solitude next turn, so I might as well not throw away the Solitude. I would have maybe attacked with the Strixes, but maybe my opponent's playing around something here. Hey, thanks, Vegeta. All the best. This is definitely going up. My opponent also let me untap with the Caracas, which is kind of nice. Plains. Can only assume they have a force here, which I can't play around with Wasteland, unfortunately. I guess I could have done Wasteland and Thalia. That would have done it. Yeah, Thalia first. Look, not a great out here, but we do have 2 more games to play. Hopefully 2 more games to play. Put us to 5 because of Solitude. Spirit, interesting. This is fine. Even if we make a token here, we just die to attack, so I assume they just attack with everything, but we might as well see what they get with this Urza Saga. I assume it's the last Mox, unless they're only playing 3. There we go. Actually, yeah, because we 6'd. We actually could have lived another turn, but... turn 15. Okay. Relic, I really like. Rest in Peace, I like. Council's Judgment, I like. That's probably it. I don't think I need the surgicals. I probably just want to trim down on 2 Thalia, especially seeing they have Caracas. Shadow Spear is definitely interesting, but I think I'm happy to remove it. Yeah, Needle's definitely a potential. I think Needle and Shadow Spear could definitely be there. I don't think I'm going to be winning this game through combat damage, especially seeing time, so I think not having Shadow Spear is okay. Prelate's probably a card as well that I'm not too keen on, just because there's so many different things, and Prismatic Ending makes it pretty hard to cast. I think that's pretty good. I think having access to these is really nice. Shadow Spear does help in the Saga Slugfests, but I hope we just don't get there. That's very true. Huh. I don't mind the tank because it's got 3 basics and a Skyclave, so like turn 1. Yeah. A little bit slow, but Stoneforge for Jide, then hold up Batterskull is nice. Peacekeeper is always interesting as well, and potentially in a timed game as well, Peacekeeper is where I should be. Yeah, I think just because this hand makes all the land drops that I need, it's really nice. And then also has... I don't believe there's anything I need to turn 1 swords, which is kind of nice. Rest in peace. Probably happy just to slam Stoneforge here. Go and get that Jide, which gives me something nice to attack with if the Stoneforge gets taken out. And if the Stoneforge doesn't die, we have the Batterskull anyway. Needle's okay. I wonder if they name Stoneforge Mystic or Jide. They probably name Jide, but I could see a world where they know that maybe I have something else with Stoneforge Mystic. They name Jide, wow. Okay. Will they also have a swords? No. Huh. This feels like an Uro, which would be fantastic because we have the Rest in Peace. Leovold. That's going to be fine. I don't really need a Swords Leovold either. I'm also just going to play Rip now, so they can't loan back these 2 lands. And then probably just hold up Timeless Dragon, to be honest. Mox is okay. Jace is fine. Bounce the Germ is fine. Yeah, maybe I will wait on the... Oh, they're attacking. Huh. Okay. This way, if we draw a land, we can Skyclave and Jide the same turn. Judgment's actually pretty sweet. I think our Judgment and then Swords. Planes to equip would have been much better. Planes to equip was definitely the play. I'm also just going to Swords this now so that I don't have to play around like Hardcast Force. Yeah, line of equipping is much better. Definitely should have thought of that. Yeah, maybe they... Definitely interesting. Maybe they didn't think about the equip and just thought that the 1 damage from Stoneforge didn't really mean much. Strix is fine. Wisp. It's actually pretty good. I could see cycle Timeless Dragon for a Plains, play Plains, Wisp, Batterskull. I do need another coffee. I don't see this game getting to a stage where that's sadly too relevant. The Timeless Dragon, that is. Ooh. Yeah, Kaldra's also interesting, but I feel like they might have a removal spell for the Stoneforge Mystic over the next 2 turns. Which I guess they could just use on the Germ anyway. I just didn't want to have a dead Batterskull and a dead Kaldra in hand. I'd rather at least make them use some sort of removal spell for the Batterskull. But maybe that's, yeah. Maybe putting that pressure on is just where I should have been. Wasteland. Okay. I think I like Skyclave on Needle. Get in with the Germ with Batterskull, and then next turn we can put Yorion into hand and start getting some value there. Swords is fine. I will probably hold the Wasteland. I'd love them to actually play a Saga instead of like, I think that's just overthinking. I was going to say try to hide it until they play a Saga, but I think we're in an okay spot. Eurocycle's fine. They didn't save it. Interesting. They're going to hold the Caracas. Take this. I kind of like just hold... this is a tough one. I think it is putting Yorion into hand here. I do want to get some traction going, though. Like, Batterskull on Stoneforge Mystic isn't the worst. Actually, everything on Stoneforge Mystic isn't the worst. No, because I want to get the servo token can just be sacked. So I kind of have to go on Wisp. This way they block with the Baleful Strix, but then we have the Jade token to take out the flying Thopter, so it can't be sacked for a 4/4. So I don't mind this trade. Tough though, because they can just untap at instant speed. I guess we can trade both tokens for the Thopter in response to the fetch. I think that's just what we have to do. Oh, they let it go. Interesting. Because it is free to sack, right? Yeah, interesting. Maybe they have something else up their sleeve. Opposition agent, sure. Jeez, what's this? One of each color? Yes, sure. It's probably the first prismatic ending I've seen for 5. So kudos. Okay. Don't mind Yorion here. I could bounce both things. Yes, because then I can Skyclave the opposition agent before we search. So I believe we want to go Skyclave first. Oh no, did that not click right? Tough. That's really tough. I think I just clicked wrong. Oh my gosh, we missed the Skyclave as well. I deserve that. I deserve that. No great blocks here. Because I could block, but then sack this, but then they can 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have heaps of mana. I can get up in the air. Ooh, Solitude. Interesting. So I can get in with the Stoneforge here. They have 0 cards in hand. I can make them sack. That's fine. This is fine. Sure. Interesting. Just going to remove this now. And then probably take out the Caracas, let's be honest. I could play around Force by just solituding in my turn, but I think this will be fine. Sure. Interesting attacks. Let's start by casting Solitude. Probably just going to take out this, to be honest. And then block like this. It's pretty reasonable. They have one card left. Yeah. Tough. Some pretty massive errors in that game, but happy to come out on top. Always a nice feeling. Always something to learn. Always something to learn. Ugh. Sorry, team. Oh, there's a third game. Yeah, there's a third game. I'm definitely bringing in Peacekeeper for... it's just going to be a... Spirit's actually pretty good. I'd probably rather just the one Thalia in the deck instead. Alright, Drewski. Show Yorion. Pretty nice hand, let's be honest. And, okay. Well, there we go. Nice. Not the way you want to win, but time is a consideration for MTGO. Unfortunately. All right. On the play against the Brogan. Interesting hand. I don't mind it. Turn 1 Mum, turn 2 Jit off Saga, and just get there with Saga. Like, this is a hand where I can just rely on Saga, hopefully. Yeah, I think I keep this blind as well. Having an actual just plains is really nice. Having some interaction in Wasteland and Caracas. Pray no combo? Yeah, pray no combo. Opponent goes to 6 cards. Please no, like, Chrome Mox. Oh, Saga's going to be fine. We have Wasteland for that, which is nice. Pedal. Saga Pedal. Okay. Well, this is still okay. Port's pretty interesting here, but I think Wasteland is just better. And pretty happy to attack here. I think next turn I'd like to just play Saga into Jide and then hopefully get in with Mum and start getting some counters going. Wow, no turn 2 play. Timeless. Cool. Cool. Please be Psy. Okay. We do have the Caracas for that, if that helps. Yikes. Well, we tried. Yeah, Port's definitely tough. Port is a tough one. Okay, that's actually quite nice. Because now we get to Caracas Sai play Stoneforge for our dude. I actually haven't played against 8cast, so I can't say anything about if Port is correct. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, their constructs are much better. 8/8. Needle here is pretty good on Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah. Yikes. Flick Wisp. File. I don't think we have much here, let's be honest. I think it's just Peacekeeper and perhaps Relic, if they have like an Emery. I think the Thalias can go. Deafening Silence is actually quite good, yeah, that's true. Needle, Relic. I think, yeah, Thalias can probably come out, let's be honest. I do like the Spirits. Prelate can come out. Mums are interesting, but I think they're okay. A lot of colorless stuff. Hey Dread, thanks for the Prime sub. Sadly, I did not go to Vegas because I don't live in America, unfortunately. But I heard really good things from people that went. It sounded like a really cool time. Kataki's pretty sweet. I'd love to play Kataki. Timeless Dragon seems okay, even just as a 4/4 flyer. It might just be like cutting a mum. And maybe Retro? Maybe Retro is just too slow here, and I'd rather have these targets. Thalia is definitely interesting. I feel like Deafening Silence plays the role of what Thalia would, just a turn earlier, which is kind of nice. And although Thalia can be recruited for, I probably don't want to recruiter for it by the time I get recruiter online. But I definitely see that happening. We'll see how this slides. Hey Sterling, welcome. Interesting hand. I think I really need something to slow them down. This is kind of just like try to play my own beatdown strat, but that's probably not good enough. We can hit Sai, drop a Saga. Whisper token. Okay. Jitte down the bottom, and probably Mum. Turn 1 silence. Yeah, nice. Definitely more of the hand that I was going for. I like keeping forces. Interesting. Prelude on 0 is pretty good. That's very true, yeah. Retrofitter. Wisp. Tough. I was going to hold up for Sai, but luckily here we do have the swords as well for Sai, which is pretty nice, even if we don't draw a land here. Plains, cool. That's pretty lucky. Probably, if we just draw a land here, we can just flicker the servo token, which isn't the worst. I get it. Land would be perfect. Okay. I think it's go for Solitude. Could also go for Apparition, Skyclave. That's pretty interesting. Skyclave also pretty nice with Wisp. It's also not a 2-for-1. I should have probably also vialed in the Recruiter because it's more value off the Flick Wisp, and then just hard cast the Skyclave, because at least if they force that I still have the Recruiter. But otherwise I don't, so... Kill the Foundry? Yeah, maybe Foundry is the go. Maybe I should have waited to see what they do with the Foundry instead of just putting in Skyclave here. But live and learn. Because I assume now they just make another 1/1. Yeah. Messy. Apologies. I think because of the double Flicker Wisp, I'm happy just to keep these instead of putting this up to 4, then 5. Just for one more turn. That kind of works as well. I think I'd have to Skyclave the Psy here. seeing they have so much mana, replaying it isn't really that big of a cost, and they keep us getting 1/1s. But it's definitely tough. I mean, losing to these flyers is definitely, you know, something that can happen pretty easily. And these constructs are going to get out of hand pretty quick as well. Especially if they get Shadow Spear. Yeah. I don't think I have a real contention here, unfortunately. Tough. Yeah, really tough. Deck doesn't have a great way to deal with multiple small threats out of, like, other than, like, Jide. It can be pretty tough to keep the deck from going wide. I think, yeah, D&T can have a real tough time if you allow something to go wide. Like a Young Pyromancer back in the day. A Psy in that case. Yeah, it just doesn't... Removal doesn't line up too well unless you get a little bit lucky with being able to, like, Swords Aside before they play something. Or, yeah, maybe Skyclaver, Retrofit a Foundry before they get the mana to get it going. But also, I think just not being experienced in the matchup is a big part as well. Definitely. Definitely don't have all the answers myself, which is something I am looking to build on each time I play against the deck. Yeah, 8 casts can just, like, go all out. It can kind of be like a Storm deck in some regard where, yeah, it can be really, really tough. Alright, let's finish on a high. Against Paragon. Played some Dredge today. Nice. I'm not going to keep a 1-lander in the blind. Pretty happy to mulligan this. Kind of nice to have, like, Mama to Thalia or Stoneforge. So, like, Mama to Thalia for combo, Mama to Stoneforge for more the mid-range, but that is more than fine. We are definitely mulliganing this. Well, a little bit better. I think I like the Spirit for the combo and Stoneforge for the non, so I think this is pretty good. I could keep. I like the Foundry as a turn 1 play, but there is a world where second Stoneforge is pretty nice. I think that's okay. We do technically have 2 other Stoneforges to draw into, so... Mox. Oh, lands? What is this? Ugh. Did not expect another Spirit. Very interesting. Four mana, sack it. Yeah, I think it even said that my opponent was last playing B, which is mono black. So perhaps this is just a mono black deck where probably the Foundry can do really well at just making sure that I always have a creature on board that I don't really care about. Agent's pretty cool. We do have the Solitude for it, which is nice in case of any like big shenanigans. Okay. Probably don't mind Solitude into Stoneforge. Looks like they've sixed. Probably just going to get a big dude here. Caldra. And Hope. Yeah, Spirit probably not going to be doing much other than just being a 3-1. So at least Stoneforge doesn't die to like Maydeck Plague Engineer. Or Liliana. The last hope, not Veil. But yeah, getting Cauldra down here would be really nice. Oh. Okay. Oh, no, 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 no. Can I still? No, no. Ah, missing out on an attack is huge. Terrible. Terrible. I have no words, chat. I have no words. I apologize, yeah. Just one of those things. Another agent is fine. There's probably a world where I should play around like Sudden Edict, so I actually am just going to put in Caldra here. I assume if they had it, they would have played it, but if they draw it, then I don't want to lose a Stoneforge Mystic, so... I'm going to assume they don't have a bounce effect either. This saves it from other edict effects, so I think we're doing okay. But pretty useless. Saga's fine. Apologies. Tight play is just not happening today. Oh, but it's legendary. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we can still return it here, and then we don't have to do that thing. Whew. Lucky. Now we get to draw. Nice. Nearly got a little bit awkward, because I assume they get to search, and then they get to cast whatever they want. So like a Swords to Plowshares would be pretty strong. City. Okay. Serum Powder, hardcast. Nice. Okay. Interesting. I guess it is an extra artifact for their 2/2. Or for their 1, 2, 3, 3. All right. Cool deck. Sad to not see more opposition agent in Legacy. When even Hullbridge was spoiled, I thought that both of them would see maybe not as much play as each other, but still more play than what's currently happening. Probably pretty happy here to just play out Spirit or hold up Retrofitter. I guess Spirit also means they can't attack with the opposition agent. Unless they want to trade the 1/1 and Stoneforge for both. Yes, Ajad, you're correct. I think I will actually play out the Spirit. Plays a little bit more around things like hand disruption as well. So opponent makes a creature, and then makes another creature. Yeah, I guess the constructs actually change things as well. Because if they attack with just the construct as a 4/4, it's a little bit awkward. Probably do just take it. Unless they get Shadow Spear as well, then things get a little bit more tricky. Shadow Spear also changes the clock. Yeah, Needle would have been a little bit rough. I think next turn we're just holding back the Cauldron. Because it obviously is quite good against the constructs. Yeah, they probably just attack with the 1 construct. We take 6. Yeah. Land Wisp here is pretty strong. Plow Natural Batterskull would be quite nice. Another Vial isn't going to cut it. So now we have to do some sort of damage control. I think it is just hold up Foundry here. Which is okay. It allows us to block the construct that doesn't have Shadow Spear on it and then leave the Cauldron for the one that does. Ah, they must be playing Leyline Helm. Interesting. Draw Batterskull, we have it in hand. Okay. Up to 3. Mum. Okay. Not the worst. We can also hold up Retrofitter and play Mum, which is nice. Just run this back. Yeah, Helm can break up the Flickerwisp can break up the Helm kill, which is really nice. Then getting our own 4/4 will be pretty interesting as well. But yeah, the Helm kills real because the Flicker Wisp only stops one interaction. Does Helm sack? Maybe it does. No, does it? That's a good question. Yeah, sadly I don't think it does. I think it's just tap X. Yeah. Only if it's a creature. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, not at all. Sleepy, good to check it.
What time should I set the alarm for? Okay,
Another leyline's fun. Another leyline actually changes things up a bit.
Nothing's playing right now. Good night.
I think I just want to keep the Wisp here. But definitely potential to take something out. Could try to agent towards something else, but I think Kaldra is just so good. Just gonna think. We do have 5 minutes to our opponent, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 6 mana. I mean, if they draw the Helm, they draw the Helm. So I think I will just take out a construct here, and then start chipping in the air. Seems okay. Probably keep the Vial. That's a tough one as well. Sorry. Okay, Google. Off. Nice. We have a pretty high chance of drawing a land, which means we have a high chance of putting Yorion into hand, so I think actually we'll just keep going up to 5. Nice. Hey Anthony, thanks for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Wisping Agent's definitely interesting, but I don't have a great thing to get off the Stoneforge Mystic. Nothing that really breaks up the board. Yeah, Vile Yorion is very strong. We also have end step make a 4/4 from the flyer. Serum's fine. Does make the construct bigger. Marlin's fine, because we do have the... I think I'm actually going to keep the Thopter. Yeah. Lewin, that's a good one. I think just having the skies is so much better. Actually, I could have attacked with the Germ here as well because it's kind of free with the Yorion. That's a pretty big misplay. Come on, man. Yeah. Was it correct to actually attack with everything? No, because they have to block this, yeah. Pretty happy just to exile the Retrofitter and the Flicker Wisp. I could exile the Stoneforge as well, and then, like, when that comes back, Flicker Wisp out the opposition agent before Stoneforge comes back, but I screwed up last time. And I think we're in a pretty good position anyway. I'm just going to take out the Construct and go from there. But yeah, Kaldra, even though not attacking, like, has just done so much work at keeping us in this game. Once I got the Constructs down with the Shadow Spear, first strike, and yeah, its ability that pretty much just exiles creatures, kind of like Death Touch, is really nice. Ah, Lewin, very nice. Yeah, maybe that was better to I guess maybe they, yeah, that's very true. I guess maybe they could Caracas their own thing, but yeah, I do like that play a lot better. It does rely on them playing it again, but they did just play it again in the face of this Caracas, so I could definitely see them doing it again, which, yeah, makes a lot of sense. I also get to make another flyer here, which is really nice. Which I think is better than playing the second Vial. Yeah, I think like an all-out attack next turn is just a little bit too much. I think it's really just the Helm kill that gets me here. Or maybe something like a main deck Deluge, but even then, they have to Deluge for 5. Potentially it was even better to attack and then Foundry away the Thopter into a 4/4. Just because they're getting so low on life. What is this? Kill the Wisp. That's fine. They have Caracas for the Yorion. This is still fine. I think this is good enough because we just get pro black and we have 2 flies in the air. There's no great attack here because we have the Mum as well. Interesting deck to sideboard for. Probably just like the Council's Judgment is really it. Just to play around any sort of shenanigans, we can tap down the Caracas. They probably return the Yorion, which means they don't have Swords to Plowshares or something like that. This is cool. Give the Germ Pro black. You know, one card in the hand is Morn Song. That is lethal. Nice. Yeah, Needle seems good. Council's Judgment seems good. I'm going to take out a Thalia and a Spirit. Thalia mainly because of, I assume they're playing Plague Engineer and most likely naming Human. That's probably all I want to change. I'm going to quickly go to the bathroom. I'll be back in a sec. Luinil? Luinil? I think it's Luinil? Hopefully. I think I've been saying it wrong this whole time, so I apologize for that. Alright. Here we go. I'm okay with this hand. Turn 1 Vial, turn 2 Stoneforge, and then having Recruiter, Skyclave is pretty nice. Okay. Nice. Huh. I probably don't mind holding up Commando here instead of playing out the Stoneforge Mystic. So we have the Stoneforge off the Vial anyway, which I could play in response to an opposition agent or a Dark Rit into it. Nice. Now I kind of don't want to play the Commando out without having access to the 1 to sack it, but I think this is going to be okay. A little bit greedy. Oh. Oh. Okay. Swords. Well, now we can just sack it. See if they float in mana. And try to bait out an opposition agent. Nice. Now we can hold the swords as well. Just going to get Kaldra. I'm going to hold up the swords instead of playing Shadow Spear here. Hey, Ernby, welcome. Hope you're well. Keeping this Vial alive for one more turn is pretty huge as well. And I don't want to put too many one-cast things onto the board and then just have them taken out by Blast Zone. I probably also just want to swords here. Just so these recruiters are online next turn, seeing they didn't have the land. Nice, so this goes up to 3. This ticks up, we float mana. Just going to put in the Kaldra now. And then probably just go and get Retrofitter. I could Needle Blast Zone. That's pretty interesting. Might actually just do that. I don't really want to lose this Vial. Especially if they like Dark Root into it. Land, play out the Shadow Spear. Attack for 5. Now we're looking really good. Tough. Well, nice to finish 3-2. Definitely some small considerations there from a pilot perspective to work on. But yeah, overall, deck sweet. Really happy with it. I think if I knew that I was going to run into like 8 casts and stuff, I might play like a Kataki or like a Ratchet Bomb or something. But otherwise, I think a lot of the losses were just due to me not being 100% clear with what I found my role to be in each matchup. And really just small mistakes that add up. Thoughts on Yorion versus 60 card? I really love the Yorion deck. Even if at the start of a like trophy race, I feel like there's going to be more combo decks. So I might like the 60 version there, but I haven't felt too bad with the Yorion version even in that sort of stage. So it's pretty sweet. Hey, thanks, Sleepy. All the best. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, and I think results speak for themselves, especially when you look at John and you look at Jason Murray. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, just the other like pros that are doing really well. It's good to see. And it's cool to see them working on the deck together as well, which is very nice. So that's always pretty cool to see. But that is going to be me, the One League Bandit. A huge thank you to you guys for coming in and watching. I'm actually finished up for the rest of the year in terms of work. So I'm going to be back probably this time tomorrow as well and just having a bit of a stream. So might change it up, might go back to Green White Depths and see how that goes. Something like this, which you can't see, but yeah, this is what I played in the first Eternal Weekend and really enjoyed it. I love this deck, so it would be cool to see that. Thanks, John. A huge thank you. I hope the Naked Cat is well. But I'm going to see who else is streaming and send you guys over there. If you want to find me on YouTube, all my recordings and some live stuff goes there. And then, of course, on Twitter, which is cool. I don't think anyone is playing Legacy, but Caleb is streaming, so that would be pretty cool. Nice, guys. All right, enjoy. We'll see you next time. Till then, be safe, and I'll catch you soon. Bye.